So let's talk about stress and the main highway of stress in the brain and the body. It is the HPA axis. H stands for hypothalamus, P stands for pituitary gland, A stands for the adrenal glands. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, mouthful. But the H and P part of the axis is in your brain, and the A part of the axis is above your kidneys, the adrenal glands. And that is the information highway that is responsible for our stress response. It's all of the things that we talked about, the fight or flight response. It makes our heart beat. It makes, it does all sorts of stuff. The amygdala works in that HPA axis as well, and other parts of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, etc. So when you have that experience of stress, and this we're talking about acute stress, this is what is happening to you. Your brain and your body are syncing up and reacting. There's a cascade of hormones that happens in the body, and that is what you feel as, wow, I'm stressed. Or like you describe, this discomfort or familiar feeling of like, wait a second, I know what this is. It's that thing that I have when I'm under pressure or under situations that are tense. And that is the stress response. Think about your own life. There are probably so many examples. I recently moved into a new home. Everyone was like, congratulations, this is amazing, a new home. And it was wonderful for a few months, and then also incredibly stressful. And then, of course, I had the delayed stress reaction 3 months later, right? Like where you're running on adrenaline initially and everything is great, and then that stops, and then you're, having sleepless nights about all the various stressors. So the rule of two is based on this idea that positive life events, things that you think might be really helpful to you to manage your stress, if you do them all at once, chances are it's not going to stick. So instead, aim to do 2 new things at a time, build them into your life over time. In the 5 resets, I offer 5 mindset shifts, 15 science-backed strategies, and every step of the way, it's about 2 small changes at a time. You work with your biology of stress rather than against it and competing against it. That is how you make change possible. In clinical practice, when I was a medical resident learning how to take care of patients, my mentors would do the same thing. But the therapeutic presence, that therapeutic encounter has been shown to actually have health outcomes. So greater adherence, to medication, tighter glucose control, decreased asthma flares, like real concrete health outcomes when you have a therapeutic encounter in that doctor-patient relationship. So there is some magic secret sauce happening in that encounter. And what is it?
How do I cultivate it? Are there any tricks? Any tips, tricks? Is there like a body language thing? Maybe, I don't know.
Yes. So as a doctor, I can tell you that there are lots of studies which show that it's not really the amount of time you spend with someone, it's your body. And so, for example, they've done studies on doctors who stand for, let's say, 7 minutes and talk to the patient versus a doctor who sits down, makes eye contact, and is at the same level or a lower level than the patient. The patient has a perceived sense that this doctor cares more and is more engaged and has a therapeutic presence. No difference in time. I think that's the great myth that people say, I need to spend more time to create a therapeutic presence. It's not about the time spent. It's about how you are spending the time and the quality of time. So that's like one trick that you could try.